Okay, do you need to unlock unique robots to dominate in Xenna, or default XMR Adam is quite enough for the long run? So with 4 robots already available and 1 on the way, you can experiment with different builds and approaches in Xenna. The game itself became more attractive, but at the same time complicated. So which robot is the best for beginners, average players, and pros, and how to get them all? So robots are divided into 3 types: light, Goth and Pan, medium, which is Adam, and heavy ones, Aries and Hates. Each comes with its strengths and weaknesses, but as the game is still in its early stage, the meta remains ever-changing. So keep an eye on rebalancing. XMR Adam is the only medium robot so far, and it is a starting robot, default, so you name it. And as it happens, it is the most balanced one. That is, you can pump it up with peace of mind. It will be effective at all rarity levels, believe me. So XMR Adam stats are the following: damage 2.5, HP 20, defense 2.51, birth in start 3, speed 184, and spawn rate 0.18 per second. Adam has 4 unique abilities. Hack. When meeting with an enemy, robots hack enemies, after which they go over to your side. Sapper. Robots on the march mine the area they are walking on. Artillery barrage. The robots firebomb at the enemy before ambushing them. Gravity trap. Towers are equipped with gravity traps that stun the enemy. And yeah, the best unique ability is hack. It allows Adam to rule the meta. But Sapper will bring a lot of trouble to your enemies too. So that is why I recommend you checking out our latest guide on the most effective abilities, so they will definitely come in handy. And yeah, as it happens, Adam is the only robot with the unique skin so far. In the future, it will give access to exclusive events and drop multiplicator. The starter pack worth 3,300 G-Ore is the shortest way to level your Adam fast and smooth. But even without it, you'll be able to get the highest level pretty easily. Still, I recommend considering this purchase, as 3 golden cards will increase your drop and you'll be using them on all of your units. So a long-term win-win. But if you think it's quite enough to level up your Adam and Xenna will be completed, well, you are greatly mistaken. With new game mods, robots, and abilities, the meta can change at any time. So you'll definitely have to upgrade all the robots that you have. So there are 2 Xenna heavy robots at the moment, Aries and Hates. They are pretty similar in terms of stats, but there are some differences in game style. XHR Aries is our first star. It is a juggernaut, heavy, clumsy, but able to take tons of damage and deal just as much in return. To get this robot, you must work hard and earn 10,500 G-Cell and buy 750 parts in the shop. But the grind is worth it. As you can see yourself, here are XHR's basic characteristics. If you want to, you can pause here. So the core idea of XHR is to provide yourself with a solid late game advantage. Yeah, it's pretty slow at the start and has a low spawn rate. That's why you can ignore speed, because, well, instead you need speed mojo. But let's focus on leadership first to dominate early, as you will need to separate troops to capture multiple towers at the beginning. And Aries has 4 unique abilities. Warp Interference allows your troops to fight off ambush attacks. War Trophies are awesome, as every march victory generates robots in towers. Sweet Revenge explodes on the march after death, dealing tons of damage to nearby enemies. Energy Shield give your robots invulnerability. So by analogy with Adam, the best skill here is War Trophies, well, similar to Hack. And the perfect match is the Speed Mojo. The second good ability is Energy Shield, but you probably know that already because you've checked out our guide on the best abilities. Is it right? To compensate for low spawn, I'd recommend using Silent or Mobile Facility as your second ability. A general line here is tons of robots at the start and a slow roll into late game domination. Hira Hates is the first exclusive robot in Xenna. Well, unfortunately, you cannot just buy it from the shop because the only way to get this robot was to participate in the daily tournaments in April/May. So it was necessary to collect 1,000 parts and open this killing machine. But don't despair, as soon as the marketplace is launched, you'll be able to buy parts there. Hates has one significant advantage over all the other robots. Yeah, it can farm rare shards, while all other robots can only get common ones. As you can see, Hira Hates base stats. As always, you can pause here to read it carefully. And yeah, as you can understand, speed and spawn are the downsides of Hates. Well, just as with Aries, you need a well-upgraded speed module and focus on leadership. So far, Hates has 2 unique abilities. 2 more will be added in the future. First, EMP. Your robot's death inflicts a performance penalty on the opponent. Eternal Duty. At the end of the battle, restores some of the dead robots. Eternal Duty is also similar to Hack and allows you to replenish troops on the march, which makes this ability quite usable. But don't forget about Speed Module as the basis of any strategy. Overall, general tips are the same as for Aries. Well, classic heavy robots. And yeah, how many of you, my friends, managed to get your hands on Hates? Well, I'd really like to know that. Leave that in the comments. XLR Goth is a light and mobile robot that multiplies and moves with great speed, but pays for these advantages with low survivability and damage. Well, yes, it's quite easy to kill. Just like with Aries, you'll have to earn G-Cell, but this time even more, 15,000, and then buy this fella in the shop. Hira XLR stats, you can see that yourself perfectly. I'd say light robots are greatly underestimated. Possession of a high base speed allows you to completely refuse to use the speed module. Instead, you can spend more talents in speed, which makes room for combat abilities. Goth has 4 unique abilities. Fireball adds lighting that flies around the tower. Robots are delayed and can't snap into place from high voltage. Next, we have Napalm. Robots on the march set fire to the ground behind them. Biofactory. While the robots are in the forest, they are replenished with recruits. And lastly, Guard System puts an attacking drone into abandoned ambushes and power stations. So in the case of Goth, the situation with unique abilities is, well, ambiguous. It is better to use regular skills that will help you deal more damage, such as, for example, long barrels or heavy fire. They'll grant your towers a good defense, even if you have only 1 robot inside. Due to the high initial spawn, you can capture multiple towers in one go, thus granting yourself an advantage in the early game, even against heavy robots. Just play from the defense. And yeah, soon we'll be able to test out a new light robot called Pan, which is only available through participation in daily tournaments. And yeah, as tournaments will last until autumn, you can participate for free and win yourself an exclusive unit. But hurry up, only 1,000 pound robots are available. So, do you need Hates or Aries to play Xenna with comfort? Well, my answer is no, because Adam is good enough to guide you through the leveling process. And yeah, once you reach the legendary stage, you can plan your strategy and unlock these new units. However, I highly recommend you do this because the meta is ever changing and, well, we don't know who will be at the top of the food chain tomorrow.